Welcome to the Pandakitty podcast with your hosts, Jessica and Shella.
Today's topic is Farewell, Cashcow, where your hosts talk about how college drains you of all your money with one expense after the other. Hey guys, welcome back to the Pandakitty podcast. Today we're talking about college expenses. We're going to cover what the average costs are, our experiences with costs, how to form a housing budget for yourself or you and your roommate, and we're going to be talking about other things that include our college experiences. So let's get into it.
Alright, so we're first going to start out with talking about some average costs around places, mostly the United States, but we'll dabble a little bit into some other countries too. And Jessica, our fabulous lady over here, has brought us some great stuff today. What do you got for us over there?
So I did a little bit of research, not a lot. You can find many different statistics all over the web, but I just found a couple of them and took down some of their notes. So the average cost in the U.S. for a 2-year institution is $11,580, whereas the 4-year institution is $20,090. And this is just the average, so it could be higher or lower. And this is also just public schools, so most likely private schools are going to be substantially higher than this. But there's some benefits to them, but we don't go to one, so I don't know all the benefits, so you'd have to research that on your own. But other countries can be as low as $530 in Denmark and upwards of like $11,865 in Japan, which is still cheaper than us, so
Yeah, United States has got that top tier cost held down spat, so, we're really great people. They say land of the free, but really we're the land of the college debt, right?
Yes.
So then there are the different expenses that will come with your college life. They have to do with a whole bunch of different things that we'll be talking about. And Jessica has again researched these wonderful topics for us, and I will listen to her facts.
And some of them aren't research because I'm in college, so I experience these.
Yeah, I've also experienced some expenses, just saying.
So everybody pays tuition. That's something you can't really get around. You're going to have to pay it. Some people pay room and board. Other people live off campus, which is something we will talk about a little bit later. There's textbooks and school supplies, which you should always wait until you go to your classes to make sure you're not going to drop a class, and also make sure that the teacher actually uses the textbook often. Because if they don't use the textbook often, there's really no point in buying it.
See, I'm one of those freaks who buys their books like weeks in advance because I'm like, nah, I honestly don't care. I'm going to get them cheap somewhere anyway, so yeah, I'll buy them just in case. And a lot of the classes, I'm like, they're still interesting books, like even though they're textbooks.
Yeah.
So it really depends on if you're somebody who's like, I think these are interesting, or for somebody who's like, I only want to get it if I have to get it.
Yeah, throughout college, I have bought all of my textbooks brand new, which is probably a really bad decision because I could have been saving money, but I bought all of them brand new, all of the textbooks, regardless of whether or not I needed them. Mm-hmm. The only exception is this semester, I did not buy one textbook because Shella had it, so I'm just borrowing hers. But other than that, I've paid for like all of my textbooks full price. But whatever. Other things you might need is some equipment and personal supplies for certain classes. There's some specialty classes where you need special things. Personal expenses are a factor, such as like food and whatnot. Transportation, if you live off campus or have a job off campus, you're going to need to be able to transport yourself, which costs money. And then there's different school-related and activity-related fees, such as like parking permits. Those are usually the biggest factor in that kind of category.
Yeah, definitely that one's the biggest one. I mean, like, sometimes there's different fees that like are kind of like iffy ones, but yeah, parking permit's definitely the big one that you got to think about. Although it's not that much, depending on where you go.
Yeah, depending on where you go, it's not bad for like parking for a whole semester. It's really pretty inexpensive.
Yeah. Seriously, being on the other side of this bathroom is kind of killing me. But honestly, this is college life, by the way. You get to hear it around us because we have our neighbors upstairs, and the trads are like kind of iffy the way they're built. So then like
the walls are very thin.
Yeah, the walls are very thin. You got the squeakiness upstairs from Mr. Squeaky Boots. He walks around up there, and he has his roommate obviously too, so there's 2 people. He's also our 2 a.m. showerer. Yeah, we have a 2 a.m. showerer, and we can't really do anything about that. I've literally gone up there and talked to them about it before. And then we have the bathroom on the other side of our wall, so you'll get to hear the fan when you're in the room, and you can tell when somebody's going to the bathroom because they turn on the light, and then the big fan's like in the background.
So if you hear that's because someone in our dorm room is in the bathroom.
And squeaky shoes upstairs sounds like squeaky shoes upstairs.
Yeah, and there's lots of other things that happen when you live on campus. Mm-hmm. The fire alarms, expect them to go off and have to get up, like, at random times. I think this year it's gone, it's gone off, like, maybe 8 times.
Oh, yeah, definitely. At least one time we've been gone, but most of the times it goes off when we're here, and it's like, you have to pull on your pants because, like, some of us don't wear pants in the house. And so, like, you have to pull on your pants. You gotta be like, God damn, I was already in bed.
And for us, it's, like, the middle of winter. So it's, like, snow on the ground. It's really cold out. And it's, like, it's happened to us where the fire alarm has gone off at, like, 4 in the morning, 11 o'clock at night. Like, really late times when you don't want to go outside in, like, pajamas and a jacket.
Yeah. But, like, that's skimming ahead. But that does have to do with, like, the housing budget. You're honestly not paying, like, a substantial amount for, like, a really nice place. As with any apartment, you're really there just to have somewhere to live. And you just pay, like, $2,000-ish here for what you're getting. And it's honestly a room for 2 people. And then you have the room on the other side for another 2 people. So it's a house of 4. And you have to also constitute that you only have 1 kitchen. So, like, what you're going to be able to fit in the kitchen, you have to have room for it. Because we actually had to bring in, like, a container so we could have more room, so we could actually have somewhere to put our food.
Yeah.
Because everybody bought their own things.
Yeah, and you also, like, one thing that is nice, though, is that your expense for your housing, so it's like $2,000 for us for a semester, but that includes everything. So that's living there, that's your electricity, that's your heat, like that's all of your expenses included. So like in the grand scheme of things, if you were living in an apartment off campus, for a lot of people it is cheaper to be on campus because you're paying a very low amount for like basically everything you need included into that amount. And it breaks down like to like $400 a month or something like that for everything included, which is really reasonable.
It is reasonable. Like, it is reasonable. But like, I personally have lived off campus, so I know the difference between the two, and it is substantially different in comparison between living on campus and living off campus, which we'll talk about when...
Well, for your circumstance, though.
Yeah, for my circumstance.
Yeah, because there are some people that if they live off campus, they don't have family around, so they have to live...
Yeah, and then they get an apartment, and then it's a different story.
So for them, it would be different.
But... Yeah, but like off campus as in living
with your parents.
Which is usually a lot of times what people do for off campus. But there are people who live off campus later on, like junior, senior year, who are more likely to be living with a group of people that they met in college, but they don't want to live on campus. Which I guess because that distributes the pricing, so like then you're just paying month to month. Wow, there is so much noise on the other side of this wall. I'm sorry, I'm just listening to it. I'll be right back. So you keep talking about the expenses, and I'm just gonna go turn off the light in the bathroom.
Okay. Yes. So talking about the housing budget, the housing budget is really important because it helps you establish basically how much you can spend in a month and how much money you have available for fun expenses and how much you don't have available. So housing budgets can be very helpful because you get to know how much income you have coming in and how much income you have coming out, which is really valuable in terms of managing your money. So easy ways you can do it is basically you can track what you're spending in a month, and that would be how much money you have coming out, and then track whatever you're getting in a month, which would most likely just be your paychecks from a work if you have work or something of that sort. And then you would just put the numbers together, and if you have more money coming out than coming in, then you need to make some adjustments to your budget, which we can explain more of this later if you'd like to know more about how to manage a budget and stuff like that. We can do that in another video as well.
Yeah, so with that, and with all of the sounds gone from our existence, we will be taking a break where we have actually had a song sang for you. And it's a rap, so you'll get to hear.
By yours truly.
Yeah, by us. So you'll get to hear our really great rapping skills. Like, top-notch, pristine, I promise. And we'll do that. And then we'll have our next section, which is more about our experiences being in college and the antisocial in college, because we're both very antisocial people who try to be social in our own ways, but it's kind of hard because we're kind of introverts by a lot.
Yes.
So we'll be right back with you guys. Bye! 1,000, 2,000, so much money down the drain. 2,000, 3,000, it's going toward my brain. When I was little, I didn't have much, except a loving family and a mental crutch. Thinking about my future and what I would become. Didn't have ideas even when I was young. 3,000, 4,000, saving what you can. 4,000, 5,000, spending till the end.
As I grew older, my parents grew bolder, telling me responsibilities I'd have when I was older, about how my life would turn upside down. If I didn't go to college, I'd be street bound.
5,000, 6,000, it's required in this land. 6,000, 7,000, college has the upper hand. I went as they said.
I went for years.
All because of my mental fears.
They got me.
They bound me.
With debt, they drowned me.
And in the end, even life couldn't ground me.
I thought I was safe.
Secure as could be.
But really all I got
was lost at Dead Sea. Why do we do it? Spend money just to get through it. Living on the edge 4 years after it ends. College debt strikes again. College debt.
Welcome back, guys. Now, I hope you enjoyed that rap that we had for you. If you'd like to hear us make some more songs, which I'm sure we plan to do in the future, whether they're bad or good, let us know if you want more of them too, so we can keep them going. Anyway, now we're going to talk about our experiences in college and what it's like being an antisocial person in college.
Yeah, so we're going to first talk about the difference between off-campus living and on-campus living and how that has affected us both, because we have one person who's lived on campus full-time.
Not full-time.
Well,
mostly full-time.
Full-time in terms of college. So you have never lived off-campus during college. Do you know what I mean by that?
Well, I mean, I have, though, on the weekends.
Well, on the weekends, but we're not counting the weekends because, like, for the majority of your time, you have lived on campus. You pay for on campus. So you are an on-campus liver.
I still say part-time, but that's agree to disagree situation.
Wow, my knee.
I thought that was the chair.
No, that was my foot. My ankle, to be exact.
Okay, anyway, continuing on.
And then off-campus living versus on-campus living, where I have lived off-campus for a year and also on campus for a year. Which I go back home sometimes too, but don't count it.
Well, you don't go back every weekend. I went back home every weekend in freshman year. I went back every single weekend, Friday to Sunday.
I mean, I suppose, but I still don't count it.
That's still
Agree to disagree.
of 7 days. That's almost 50%.
Anyways, so off-campus versus on-campus. What was it like for you living on campus?
I personally love living on campus. I think it's part of the college experience, and I think it's part of I think it's nice to just be close to campus, because our campus specifically it's pretty far out from everywhere else in our town. It takes like a solid 5 minutes to get anywhere. Like, it takes like 5 minutes to get off of campus and to the highway, and it takes like a solid 10 minutes just to get to the nearest grocery store. So I personally love living on campus because there's just a lot of like a sense of community, and it's nice to like only have to walk like 5 or 10 minutes to get to class. Although living off campus has its advantages, when I do go stay at my mom's, it's nice because my mom's house is close to my job, which is off campus, so that's less of a drive from being on campus. So that has an advantage, but I also just think it's really nice to live on campus because it's nice to get away from your family sometimes. And I personally I like being with my friends, and I like to be in a place where I can just ignore everybody, because sometimes I come to my room and I shut everybody out, and you can do that on campus, where sometimes it's not that easy when you're at home because your family knows how to like get to you, whereas your friends will generally leave you alone. So I don't know. I personally like living on campus, and I probably will continue to do so, but that's my personal opinion.
Oh wow, the shower has started early today.
You are just messing up this entire podcast.
It's not bad. Okay, whatever. Fine. I'll be not distracted by the sounds around us. But I have lived both on campus and off campus, and I personally like living off campus better than on campus. Mostly for the expense cost cut when I live off campus because I lived with my mom. But also because I just feel better at home. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel more at home, which sounds stupid when I say it out loud. But it's because there's really my family does not like really make it a point to like be like in your face all the time. We're very like individual people. So I'll sit on the couch for like 24 hours, and I will be able to sit in the same spot on the couch for 24 hours. And my mom will interact with me from time to time, but it's not like it is a requirement to be in contact with each other completely. So we always have our own personal space, which is really nice. And it's a lot like living with a roommate, except for the fact that I didn't have to do chores. But when I go back this next time, hopefully, if everything works out, I will be doing chores and helping out around the house. And it'll be more like a roommate situation than it was before. So I hope to help out more, since I now have had the experience of what it's like to have to pay for groceries and all that stuff. I think that it would be a good thing to help with that. And so getting that experience of on-campus living, which is something that I think is really good for you to do in college, at least to try out if you have never tried it out or want to not try it out. I would recommend highly trying it out for yourself, because it's very important to get that experience of living on your own and being your own individual person, whether you know the person you're going to be staying with or not. Having that experience of living with somebody that you don't know, a stranger, an acquaintance, anything like that, really helps to give you a sense of your own individuality and how you need to live to be yourself. So I think it's very important to do that. Moving on, because Jessica doesn't know what to say, we're going to be talking about being antisocial people or introverts while in college. And this is something that's like very close to home with both of us, because we are introverts who are very antisocial by nature. So I'm somebody who has more online friends than I do friends in real life, to be honest. But I have met people in college who have definitely opened me up to different experiences. Like, up until college, I had never been to a party. And honestly, I didn't go to a really wild party. At the party, they literally played a tournament of Mario Soccer. And I was doing pretty gosh darn well in that. And I had the experience that I had with that was that I was the designated driver. So I had, at the end, 6 people in my car who were drunk off their butts, and I had to drive them all back to campus. But definitely being antisocial, that type of party situation isn't really my crowd, and I realized that because I got to go to something like that. And Jessica is even more of an introvert than I am, and she definitely stays in the house more than I do a lot of the time.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just not good at making friends. I find it really, I have like a crippling anxiety that makes it really hard for me to talk to people that I don't really know that well. It's even sometimes hard for me to talk to people that I do know really well. and I never know what to say or what would be the right thing to spark a discussion. So I find it really hard to make friends because part of like making friends is communicating, and I just find it really hard. I always have mental battles on what I'm supposed to say in my head. So it makes it really hard sometimes, especially on on campus at college, because the whole point of like when you're a freshman of your first year is they make you do a lot of stuff with a whole bunch of different people your first year so you can start making those connections. And some people do like very easily just start talking to someone and make like instant best friends. Whereas for me, I find it really hard to talk to people, which I'm sure some people can relate to. So I tend to just spend a lot of time in my room doing my own thing. And I once you get to like your sophomore year or even further, it's really hard to like get into a crowd. So you kind of just stay in the same thing, which is what I've pretty much done most of my college experience so far. I do have a few friends that I've made in college, but again, most of them have been like through other people. But I don't think I regret anything that has happened due to my anxiety or my like introvertedness. So I would say even if you are an introvert or you are antisocial, it's good to get out there a little bit and do something that scares you, because you never know what will come out of it. So that would be my advice for anyone.
All right, and that should be it. I think we're about to hit time right now, and we got some movement upstairs that's going on for a while. So with that, we're going to wrap up this dinner date, and we will see you guys. We will see you Pod Poodles in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
College expenses.
College debt. It's getting you. I was
College
gonna say
debt.
in the ground, but then it didn't rhyme, so I was done, and then I was, I can't wrap off my head.
1,000, 2,000.
We kind of started off from each other.
6,000, 7,000. College has the upper hand.
I missed that.
College has the upper hand.
Okay, I got that. Get all the...
You got the voice on. I actually got like super rasp going on today.
Ooh, I can kind of whistle like that. Is that you or me? I can't tell.
Sorry.
Now I just sound like an idiot.
Sorry, I should have.
No, it's okay. I've never been able to whistle. Okay, don't erupt it. I'm sorry. It was more your facial expression because you were like kind of into it, but like making fun of it at the same time. That humored me. Okay.
Okay.
1,000.
I'm sorry, I heard your mouth move and make noise. Was it me?
We're a mess.
It's a ghost.
Yeah!
Do you see a ghost, you scream like that?
Yeah!
Yes!
Yeah!
Yes! A ghost! As I grew older, my parents grew bolder, telling me responsibility.
Isn't that a hard...
And then you go.
Why do we do it? Spend money just to get through it. Living on the edge for years after it ends. College debt strikes again. Great end to that, man.